I asked my guide, can we go through there? Like, it doesn't go into some other dimension or anything like that? And he said, no, it doesn't go into another dimension, but it isn't necessary for us to go in there. And he showed me what it looked like. It looked, this is going to sound so freaking weird. It looked like a giant worm, but huge. Like, think the size of, not like the size of a bus. And it was related to the area, not the person, not the house, not the space, not that exact location. I asked my guide what its purpose was, and he said that it's an energy siphoner. Like, it didn't exist as an evil thing. It existed as an inert thing that just caused people to be afraid when they sensed it around. But it in itself wasn't there to hurt anyone or cause chaos. I've only seen a few things like this that just exist, and we have a reaction to them when we run up against them or we come in contact with them or proximity with them. But they're not necessarily evil. It wasn't there to scare us, but the byproduct of that fear is still food. So it doesn't go out of its way to frighten us. We naturally feel an aversion to it when it's in our general vicinity. And so it just continues to perpetuate that way. My guide said that it traveled around an area, and I didn't get the sense that it was as large an area as, say, a golem that has large areas that it walks. It was like a neighborhood that it was around. But I asked my guide, are these like all over? Are there like these just exist, kind of like squirrels have a neighborhood that they hang out in? And he said no, that they're not so common that every neighborhood would have them. But he didn't seem even a little bit surprised to have seen one. I, on the other hand, had never seen anything like that before. So I asked my guide, what do we do? Is this something we can get rid of? And he said no, because this was something that predated humans. It wasn't anything that we were allowed to get rid of. I asked him if it was currently not in our dimension, since I couldn't see it. I could sense it. I could tell it wasn't far away, but I didn't know where in space that was. And he said no, it was fully in our dimension, in the sense that it hadn't gone somewhere else entirely. It was in another part of the neighborhood. Yes, I know how stupid this sounds. And I asked what we could do, and he said essentially we need to just treat it like we would rats. You're not going to get rid of them. You're not going to get rid of every single rat or rabbit or mouse that's in your area, but you can make it so that they don't really want to come to your area. So we passed that on to the homeowner. I don't remember the specifics of what it was. I know there was something we set up inside the journey to make sure that it would sort of stop it, but I don't remember. This was like 12 years ago, 15 years ago. I don't remember what the specifics were. And because it isn't something that's so common, all of you are going to have to worry about it. I don't care if I pass on the information. So yeah, I asked him later on, the homeowner, if he felt any different going downstairs. He said that he could tell it wasn't in his basement, but he could still sense it. He eventually sold the house and moved out of state. But I'm really curious about what happened in that neighborhood and what other neighbors experience. It's not very often that I get the opportunity to talk to a whole neighborhood about something like this that affects a larger area than just my client. So much stuff we don't know anything about that goes on right under our noses.